So let's talk about bridging tokens between networks. This is something that you're going to find yourself doing on a fairly regular basis if you're working with projects on different blockchains, which is something that we recommend for diversification purposes. So if we recall our example from earlier, we could think of different blockchains or different networks like a corporate local area network. So if you work for a big company, they're going to have private files and private resources on their local area network that no one else on the internet's going to have access to. So the individual networks on the blockchain are kind of similar. They have projects that you can access through that blockchain that aren't available anywhere else. Similarly, they have tokens that you can access and trade on that blockchain that aren't available anywhere else. Some tokens may, and this is where it can get confusing, be available on multiple blockchains or multiple networks. So for example, BUSD and Ethereum can both exist on the BSC network and the Ethereum network. So it's always important to check what network you're on and what coin you have, and then understand what network and what coin are required to invest in a specific project. And that's something that you'll learn as you go from the documentation for each individual project, or if you choose to join our mastermind, we'll show you the ropes. So let's just kind of walk through this example. This is a visual representation of what happens when you use a bridge. So if you start with an asset, let's just say USDT on Ethereum, because I have a couple of those in my wallet here, and you wanted to bridge it to the Binance network on BUSD. So you'd be bridging, going from Ethereum to Binance, and swapping at the same time, going from USDT to BUSD. That's something that can be accomplished with app.rubic.exchange. So if you used Rubic, it would basically just travel through the Ethereum blockchain, through Rubic, across the bridge, if you will, and into the Binance Smart Chain and land back in your wallet as BUSD. So we can take a look at that. I have some USDC that I need to bridge right now. So we're on Rubic, app.rubic.exchange, and then you can select the token. So I'm on Ethereum and I have USDC. Oops, let's start that over. I actually need to connect my wallet first. So connect, done. So now my wallet is connected. Now I can see my USDC that I have. I'm going to start that over. So Ethereum network is where I'm transferring from. And then it shows my balance on screen, USDC. I'm going to transfer all of my USDC. And I'm going to select the target network first, which is Binance Smart Chain. And I want BUSD. So that's going to do two things. It's going to swap my token and transfer it from Ethereum to Binance Smart Chain at the same time. It's going to find the most optimal route with the lowest fees. And there we go. We'll notice that we're paying less than 1 BUSD as the fee between just for the swap, which is great. So if we approve the swap, it's going to pop up my wallet for approval. So let's confirm. Pick my Trezor, allow. Now it's very important from a security perspective. I left this up this way intentionally. You always want to enter, if you have a Trezor, the passphrase on the device. Don't ever type it into your computer screen. So I'm going to pause the recording for security purposes and enter it on my device just so I'm not accidentally catching it in reflection or something. All right, so I've entered my passphrase and now we are confirmed. And that's it. It's going to process my transaction. Now a bridge goes from network to network and it usually takes a few minutes to process. So you'll notice that it's now successful in the source network and you can watch your recent trades. If you close out of this and then click on the upper right option here, recent cross-chain transactions, that'll show your recent bridge transactions and you'll see that it's still pending on the destination network side. And that can take anywhere from 2 to 3 minutes to I've seen it take as long as half an hour. There's a lot of different factors that go into the network speed, and I'll leave those for another day for now. So we're just going to wait for this to finish, and then it'll show up in my assets on Binance. Right here when it's done. All right, so now we have a successful transaction on the destination network as well, which was on Binance. And if you recall, we were swapping from USDC to BUSD. So if I check my MetaMask on the Assets tab, connected to BSC mainnet, which is Binance Smart Chain, if I scroll down, my assets that I transferred have arrived in BUSD. And that's it. That's all there is to a bridge. You can use Rubik to swap as well if you just choose the same destination network and the same on each side. So let's say I wanted to swap. So this is already on Binance on BUSD. So let's swap that. So now we can swap from Binance on BUSD to, let's say we wanted to go to Bitcoin. So now we're going to do an instant trade rather than a bridge on Binance because we're going on the same network. And that's pretty much all there is to it. So you approve it and then you swap it. And at that point, you'll get your Bitcoin in return. I'm not going to do that because I don't actually want Bitcoin at this time. So that's one example of doing a swap using Rubik. Sometimes it can get a little bit more complicated if you're using a decentralized exchange like QuickSwap or NightSwap with a new token that was recently launched. I happen to know that the liquidity for OPT2 is on QuickSwap with a USDT pair. In order to trade that, it's actually not listed in their token list at this time. So I need to type in the address. See how it says paste address here? So I can do that by going to a trusted source like dex.guru.com, searching for the token, and then finding the contract address, which is this right here, and then pasting it into, so here's OPT2 found by address, and we can click on that. And now I can trade by switching my wallet to the Polygon network. Oops, I gotta select the token again. If we say 1 Matic or 1 OPT2, it's going to cost me 1.93 Matic, which is about $1.44. And then I can connect my wallet. Oh, I think it has already prompted me right here. So I can connect my wallet here. I'm actually not going to do this because I don't actually want to make this trade. But I wanted to show you that sometimes you may have to type in the contract address in order to make a trade on a decentralized exchange. If we use NightSwap, so NightSwap is another decentralized exchange, they're going to have a limited set of tokens just because they're newer and they've only launched support for a number of partner projects. So if you wanted to trade between, let's say, BUSD and Guard, or BUSD and BNB, you could do that here on NightSwap. So you pick the source asset. Again, I'm not connected to the right network. Let's fix that. BSC. So now we're on Binance Smart Chain again. And I want to next connect. So it shows my balance. And let's say I wanted Guard max, and we'll give it a second to populate. There is definitely liquidity on the exchange. and then hit swap. And I'm not going to execute that trade. I don't actually want to make that trade at this time. Just an example. And that's it. That's the basics of swapping and bridging. If you are trading a token that is new or attempting to purchase a token that is new, make sure you verify the contract address with a trusted party. As an example, if I search for OPT2 on dex.guru, there are actually some that are fake. So you got to be careful when you're using an app like this to search for the contract address. Usually it is posted in the official Telegram of the project, or in the white paper of the project is an even more authoritative source. Kind of goes back to college, how you would use authoritative sources to document your research paper, right? Your citations. You want to make sure you have the most authoritative source possible when you look up the contract address for a project, and usually that's going to be the white paper for the project on their official website or their Discord or the Telegram.